Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good to see everybody. A few minutes late, I know. But I am here. I am here. Good morning, everyone. Let's see. Good morning, PH. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Brent. Good morning, all. Good morning. Zero the Blade is here, and Stray, and James. Good morning. Stargate Mind. Good morning, everybody. So I've been trying to still get back on schedule as far as the different days go, but all of my writing time, and I feel like I have not made much progress, but all of my writing time has been trying to go back to the Tales of Rabavania script, and I'm supposed to meet with Brianna about that, trying to get the first 10 pages right, and I've got a little bit more work to do with that, but I got to talk to Brianna about that this afternoon. And then I have a meeting with Cameron on that tomorrow afternoon. And unfortunately, that's not something I can share, but it takes up writing time nonetheless. So I thought, it was like, what am I supposed to do this morning? So I was going to our list of morning grind topics. And, I was probably going to skip Pirate Borg. Now, this is Free League. So Free League did send me a Pirate Borg PDF. So they did send this to me. This is one that they sent to me because I was like on their media list. But I was going to skip this one, just I guess because the pirate theme isn't exactly my thing. But I heard that from Trey. Trey was saying, Trey G on the Discord server. Speaking of the Discord server, Stray right here says, check out the Discord server. Here is the link if you're not already a part of it. So if you, so Trey was saying on the Discord server that he was reading Pirate Borg and he thought that it was really good. So as you know, Trey reads a lot of different RPGs. And so I was like, well, you know what? If it's really good, then I will go ahead and write it. You know, I think we had mixed kind of, we've looked at Mork Borg, and we had kind of mixed opinions on it, I think, especially because of the layout and trying to figure out exactly what it was trying to do. And then we've also looked at Vast Grim, which is done by my friend Brian Colin. And he, you know, it's in that same style. It's Mork Borg compatible, but that's our dark sci-fi side of Mork Borg. So now I guess here we have the pirate Mork Borg. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So we will see. Let's go ahead and breathe and sip. Oh, I see Robert is here and Tomocrat is here. Good morning. Morning. Oh, Tomocrat says, morning. Just got the alpha of Tales of the Valiant. At first glance, it just looked like all there are samples in one PDF, but I'll look at it more later. Was that because of the Kickstarter? You know, I had been on that mailing list. I don't see anything in my inbox at the moment, but I've still got to dig through inboxes and things. But I didn't end up backing the Kickstarter for it. Maybe we'll take a look at it later, but we did go through some of the pre-releases here. All right, let's breathe and sip. Oh, so it was because of being a backer. Okay. All right, let's do 2 deep breaths and then full exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. And sip. There we go. So is anybody playing Pirate Borg, or has anybody played Pirate Borg or got it? Let's see. I downloaded, like I said, they did send it to me. And I just downloaded a whole bunch of stuff. It came with the download came with a bunch of different PDFs. I see Mork Borg, no, it's Pirate Borg version 2 player PDF. So there's a separate player PDF. They've got separate character sheets. We'll take a look at the character sheets, a character creation sheet, Mork Borg version 2 and Mork Borg version 2 in spreads. We'd probably better take a look at the spreads, I think, because it seems like with this style of layout, it's very much about, you know, the artistic layout that's often in spreads. So I tell you what, let's pull up that first and see what it says before we go to the character sheet. Like what it says, okay, will do. Thank you, Stargate. The help I need is just more time to actually write it and get it done. Oh, wait, where's my window? Okay, so here is Pirate Borg in spreads. Let's see what it says on the back cover. It says, there is darkness upon the sea. These tranquil islands betray the horrors that have unfolded in the dark Caribbean, and a constant state of war has spawned a new breed of outlaw, the pirates. But fouler things than men plague these waters, hordes of undead, ships of bone and flesh, nameless terrors lurking in the deep, but not the devil himself can save a man from his own greed. Compatible with Mork Borg from Free League. Okay, so that is our intro to the game. Let's go check out the character sheets. So here's the character sheet in color. And make sure I actually put it up on the screen. There we go. So here is the character sheet. Name, we do have class, name, class, features. I think we've had, well, this is compatible with Mork Borg. So there were classes in Mork Borg and in Vast Grimm. So name, class, features, spells or prayers left, spirit +2 per day, hit points, current and max, strength, agility, presence, toughness, spirit. So those are our stats: strength, agility, presence, toughness, and spirit. Relics and rituals. Weapon, I guess this is for a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. Armor, clothing, and hat. Hat, I guess, being very important on the pirate side of things. Maybe this is armor damage resistance, because we should just be rolling to for damage, right? Good morning, Vision. Good morning. Sable Phoenix says, I was on the mailing list while it was Project Black Flag, but then unsubbed when some of the stuff started coming out, and it looked like they were doing seat of the pants to me. And supposedly it had been in development for a long time. So they were saying. The funny thing about the Mork Borg hacks is that they all just append an English word in front of the Borg, pronounced Bori. But Borg in Swedish means castle in English. Borg in Swedish means castle in English. Yeah, I've been listening to people pronounce because it's got the two dots over the O. And I've been listening to people try to pronounce it in, what is it? Swedish, yeah. So I just gave up on that. So this is Pirate Castle. But yeah, it's something like, you say it's pronounced Bori? I've heard a couple of different pronunciations here. So I'm not even going to try. This just looks like Pirate Borg. Actually, that doesn't even have the dots over it up here. So we're just going to say Pirate Borg. Good morning, Positive Fandom. Good morning, RM. Good to see you. Let's see. We need, it's more like, RPGs using low dice totals, they really hinder players. There's no breathing room for mechanics to work. There's that regarding Tales of the Valiant. It's something like Merc Bori. Merc Bori, or I guess like Merc, so Dark Castle. Good morning, Dungeon Master. I'm going to drop a link in the chat to RM's channel right here, the Positive Phantom channel. Please check her out. Umlaut is pronounced as OE as an English approximation. Sable is correct the pronunciation of Borg. Bori is the closest English approximation. And I never worked very well. Even when I was in Germany, I never was an expert, or I really didn't even... Well, actually, we've talked about this on the channel, that the pronunciation of the umlaut, especially the U, now that was German, not Swedish, but I never really got anyway. This character sheet reminds me of Runehammer's sheets. I cannot speak Swedish, so I'm probably totally wrong. This is just what I've heard from other people who have been told how to pronounce it. Yeah, I've seen a couple of different YouTubers go through that. So we've got equipment, original 8 items, or DR +2 on agility. So equipment strength +8 items, or DR +2 on agility. Oh, and I guess if you have more, I guess that's what that means. Or DR +2 on agility and strength tests. Devil's Luck. Max damage, reroll anything, -6 damage to self, 1 test DR, -4, cancel, crit, fumble. We do have relics over here. Spirit DR 12 after using, fail, stunned 1 round, and can't use it again until dawn. Fumble, lose 2d HP and destroyed. Rituals, Spirit 12 before using, fail, mystical mishap, page 66, and can't use that ritual until dawn. Fumble, up to the GM. I guess we'll see what's more about that in the book. Background, distinctive flaws, physical trademark, idiosyncrasies, unfortunate incidents and conditions, things of importance. Ship's log, known shanties. Okay, so we're going to be doing sea shanties here. Vessel name, hit points for the ship, the hull, crew skills for attack and repair, broadsides, damage, arc of fire, small arms, damage 360 degrees, agility, full sail, come about. I guess we've actually been looking at quite a few rules for nautical games and maritime games. So I guess it's only appropriate now that we're coming back to this, coming to the pirates now, so I'm sure we'll have some of that. I'm guessing that's going to be much lighter on the rule side. Agility, speed. We do have a place to, well, a bunch of different slots over here. Oh, for cargo. Oh, okay. So ram, vessel type, cargo, what's being held in the ship, crew, minimum, maximum, and some other items here. This is a pretty cool looking character sheet. Oh, pieces of 8 silver right there. Yeah, I know. Okay, so let's okay, let me take that down. Let's actually go back to the book itself. Oh, by the way, we do have table talk tonight. I got to make sure that I confirm that with Doug. But Doug and I should be looking at Star Trek 4 tonight. It's been a while since we've done, it feels like a table talk, especially a Star Trek table talk. So we're going to be doing Star Trek 4 tonight. That'll be at 7. I'll confirm that with him, and then I'll post it in the Discord server before it happens, and I'll make a YouTube thumbnail for it. But it should be at 7 p.m. Central. All right. Oh, it's because this says compatible with Mork, but that's the umlauts are actually over the O in Mork, not in Borg. So your umlauted O is Mork. So here, that's why. Okay, that's why Pirate Borg doesn't have umlauts over it, because it's the Mork that does. So I was wrong about that. But so what's in the name? Foul weather. So this is the style. This style of this game is a lot of tables. This is the style that just kind of throws a lot of stuff at you in tables and things like that. And I don't really even think you're supposed to read through it page by page. I mean, if this were a physical book, we would just open it up and sort of just dive into it and just see what's, okay, we got zombies, dark aquatic stuff. Oh, look, sea shanties right here. I think that's the way that Brian designed Vast Grim. That, like, okay, you're just supposed to, this is just something you're really supposed to open up and just kind of get into. Although, I mean, there is character creation in here. So, but lots and lots of tables in this style and layout of games. NPC motivations, carousing, drinking, rum and grog. Test, if drinking rum and grog, test toughness DR8 plus number of drinks in the last hour to heal. D4. Fail and you vomit for D2 rounds. Agility is -1 for each drink. Lasts 1 hour per drink. Last night you see, well, we could get out some dice here. Get out the Cthulhu dice. You are hungover for the lowest number result in hours. Add the dice together. The result is 4 to 49. How much you spent, lost in silver. 50 plus how much you won or stole in silver. So if I'm carousing, last night I fell in love with a pig. You wake up in your bunker cabin, and now you are haggard. Only 4 HP left. Okay, and I must have lost something about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. And somehow being in love with this pig last night lost me 26 silver. Okay. Good morning, TSL Frontman. Hi, Nightmare. Good morning. I gotta play the chaplain to officiate. Maybe that's what it was. Let's see. Okay, loot the body, D100. Text in italics is not immediately obvious. Add the result in silver for extra loot. So let me get out a D100 over here. So loot the body, 93. Oh, 90 plus. Random thing of importance from page 60. Well, let's not flip there yet. 14. Any result on the ancient relics table, see page 62. Okay, well, I guess I'm good at rolling like cool stuff, but what's just like 45? Jar of D10 eyeballs preserved in white rum. They still see. Okay. 33. Dead rat. 79. Golden idol. Priceless. Belongs in a museum. So Pirate Borg is a game about grog-swilling pirates, undead galleons, arcane treasures found in ancient temples and high seas adventures. It's not a game about slavery, sexual violence, genocide, or any of the other abhorrent real-life parts of our history. Please treat these topics with the respect they deserve or leave them out of the game altogether and go hunt skeletons. The Dark Caribbean. The Abyss, Dark Yucatan, Port Royal, Tortuga, Havana, Guadalupe, Barbados. All right, so this is where we go. We got a light hex grid placed on this, though. Early explorers thought the Caribbean was paradise. They found nothing but deserted islands and bountiful treasure. It wasn't until thousands had left their crowded, blighted homelands and settled along the islands that they encountered the scourge. It began on the solstice. Haunting screams echoed over sandy beaches, and from the death-black waves crawled the undead. Terror spread like wildfire. The first day they came in single numbers, but hordes gestated, and soon settlements were blotted out by torrents of lifeless, nameless creatures. Possessed flesh of undead sailors, ghosts of displaced inhabitants, skeletal constructs shrouded in a seaweed and muck, and horrible monsters born from the unknowable dark places of the world. They emerged from the sea and consumed all. The meek had nowhere to flee but to their graves, and only to rise again at dusk. Survivors fortified cities and bolstered strongholds, and soon after the effects of ash, looks like ash, the effects of ash were discovered. A new status quo was born. So it is ash right here. Noun. The remnants of destroyed undead, first discovered in the dark Caribbean, known to have psychological and psychedelic effects when consumed. Extremely valuable, responsible for numerous conflicts, trade disputes, and an influx of black markets. Addicts can be spotted by their sunken eye sockets, darkened lips, and faintly glowing bones. Current ash market. Roll 2d6. The standard rate per dose, about £5 or 1 per skeleton is 50 S. Looks like. Roll for each new port each day. So buyer's market, flooded, surplus, holding steady, in demand, rare, seller's market, name your price. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's an Indiana Jones things. Good morning, Andrew. Well, the chaotic layout, that's just part of the Mork Borg. In fact, I found that it was actually kind of difficult. Did I have a physical Mork Borg book? Oh, yes. Oh, wait, no. Did we look at this one? Maybe we did. So I got this. The physical book is here. I guess I just had a PDF of Mork Borg. I kind of found that the layout of Mork Borg made it difficult to understand. Like, I think that when Brian Colin did Vast Grim, he kind of dialed it back a little bit. Now it's still very much that style and layout, but I actually kind of found the layout made Mork Borg hard to get through. Yeah, I can't talk this morning. But this is Cyborg. I think we did go through Cyborg, but it's the same kind of thing. That, well, what exactly are you looking at? Especially when you're supposed to, I think, just really supposed to open up a page and just kind of see what it is and get a feel of what the game is by examining the art and just reading the tables and things like that. It's probably not really supposed to be something that we actually read through, kind of like we do here. The new Providence Island is not Nassau Town, the ruins of an imperial colony. Now it's barely more than a collection of driftwood shacks and canvas tents. At night, cook fires litter rum-soaked beaches like drunk fireflies. Here is the brethren of the coast. Here, the brethren of the coast lie in wait for the call of the sea. James says, ash is one of my favorite parts of this setting. It calls back to ground up mummy remains in Europe during huge move toward excavating Egypt. Ah. The Mork Borg is very difficult to read thanks to the chaotic art design. That's why they have a print-only version. Stray says, their book sent my ADHD through the roof, but I love it. James says, Stargate Mind, I absolutely agree with you on Mork Borg and others, except when it comes to Pirate Borg, apparently all I need is a topic setting that interests me to forgive the egregious layout. I remember that was a reason why the chaotic nature of it, I think, was something that was very appealing to Brian when he did Vast Grim, because he wanted to be able to just kind of attack it and make the book's layout, something part of his art. The layout and stuff like that was an artistic endeavor. I mean, it was for other people too. I'm sure it was for the authors of Pirate Borg here as well. But that was an appealing artistic project to him. An outcast tribe of rebels, thieves, and vagabonds, their lust for riches and debauchery is only surpassed by unyielding demand for freedom. The long reach of imperialism is a vapid memory that wanes with the crumbling ruins of the island's lone seaside fort. It's a bastion against law, order, and responsibility. To the south, the piratical outpost on the small island of Tortuga has developed into a cesspool of vagrants and rapscallions. Ash, the primary commodity, is smuggled, stolen, snorted, smoked, and sequestered. Every night, parvenu squander a year's wages on chemical escapism, carnal pleasure, and games of chance in a myriad of taverns, brothels, and ash dens. Here lies the still-beating black heart of the Republic of Pirates. The British. Empire rots from within. Endless warmongering and blatant imperialism have bled their treasuries dry. All but abandoned by the crown, the few ports that still fly the Union Jack have become obsequious to the Machiavellian West India Company. Lord Hamilton, or the Machiavellian Lord Hamilton, governor of the Jamaica colony, is despondent in the eye of the storm. While his subordinates scramble to rebuild Port Royal after a preternatural earthquake, he conscripts a fleet of tenebrous privateers in hopes of avoiding inevitable ruin. God save us all. The French Indies. On the western shores of Hispaniola, whispers of revolution gestate in the festering colony of Petit Gova. Once an ivory tower of the French monarchy, it's now no more than a rotting figurehead in a clandestine network of spies and assassins flourish in the vacuum left by a preoccupied king. Its harbors overflow with merchant vessels like flies on a carcass, and the bourgeoisie acquiesce to the whims of capitalistic crime syndicates and malevolent cultists. To the east, among the small wild islands known as the Lesser Antilles, is Guadeloupe, an opulent palace and extravagantly decorated forts shadow impoverished slums, crumbling warrens. Here, hedonistic aristocrats turn a blind, drunken eye to the incompetent and bloated military's patriarchal conquests. All can be bought and sold, including munitions, letters of marque, undercover agents, ash, courtesans, scandals, false hope, and sanctuary. Sable says they could have stuck with Swedish and called this Mork Vatten. Then we could play Pirates in Dark Water. Well, maybe we just adopt that. Aggressive plus egregious. So, all right, let's see. We got on the western shores of Cuba, the capital of the Viceroyalty of New Spain shines like a greedy candle sputtering in a smoke-choked room. Here in Havana, brightly painted stucco and lush palm. I mean, this does have a pretty evocative setting. I think we did look at Cyborg. So we've looked at Cyborg, at Vast Grim, at Morkborg. So far, I have to admit, this one is the most interesting setting of the ones that we've seen, I think, to me. And like I said, I was planning on skipping it anyway because I don't. I know a lot of people like the pirate theme, but it just didn't immediately stand out to me. But now that I'm reading it, I'm glad that I did because I think this one is the most, to me, the most interesting of the Mork series of games. I remember the Pirates of Dark Water. I don't know if I watched it or not, but I figured you were making reference to that show. Fortresses armed with countless cannons guard an impenetrable harbor where seasonal treasure fleets amass before transporting silver, gold, and ash back east. Across the sea, the mouth of Lake Maracaibo, the citadel towers over a nearby jungle like a mass of razor-sharp coral protruding at high tide. Here, the Inquisition weaves its devious web. Their nest, the endless dungeons sunken deep beneath the city. Their prey, countless heretics forced into endless repentance. Sailors free from the cries of the banshee that haunts these waters, but it's only the screams of the damned and nothing more. So we got Cthulhu underneath the waters too. Clandestine cultists with eldritch ambitions. The wretched. Their secret society hidden in plain sight amongst the sailors and townsfolk. Each solstice, their prophet, the sunken one, emerges in briny shallows. He returns with omens from the great died ones. D-I-D? Great did ones? Great. Oh, it's old. Oh, that's an O. That's an O. Great old ones. Okay, that makes sense. The great old ones, and those new psalms are sanguinated into the only book that ever mattered, the Necronomicon. Oh, definitely some Cthulhu stuff here. Their altar, the abyss. Their prayers for those that once were to return to the depths and commence the end of days. We do appear to be very grimdark here. Far to the west, evil wells in the Yucatan. Folk tales of cities made of gold and temples ripe with untapped fortunes taunt the meek like the befouled carcasses taunts the vulture. The borders reek of rot, yet the jungle calls to those who listen. Like the heretic Cortez, none who have ventured into that execrable labyrinth have returned to tell the tale. A general history of the dark Caribbean. Well, let's skip over that. It's a bit too tiny for me to read right here. Perhaps you were a decent person, but that was long ago. This is create a player character. Okay, perhaps you were a decent person, but that was long ago and in another place. Now you're a lowlife, a scoundrel, a pirate. Follow these steps to discover your vile nature. So create a player character, a PC. Roll on each of the tables on this page. Roll your ability scores. Choose a role, a class, which affects the next 3 steps, or you can be a landlubber, no class. Yeah, no class, man, if you're a landlubber. Roll your starting hit points. Roll for a weapon, clothing, and hat. Roll for starting devil's luck. Choose a roll table. Choose or roll tables on pages 55 through 61. Name your pirate. Welcome to the Dark Caribbean. All right, well, let's roll up a pirate. Grab a piece of paper to make notes on here. Let's see. All right, so welcome to the dark. So I need to roll a d6 for a container. Okay. 5. A large sea chest. That pen doesn't work. Here's a pencil. Large sea chest. For 20 normal-sized items or one of the above of your choice. Okay, well, I'll take a large sea chest. That's fine. D12 cheap gear. Number 10, pipe and tobacco pouch. Okay, D12 for fancy gear. 8, ink, quill, and parchment. Ability scores. See you later, PH. Not loving the typesetting. That it kind of goes with the territory, it seems like, for the Mork books. Roll 3d6 and use the table below to generate each ability score from -3 to +3. Your class alters your modifiers. Alternatively, landlubber PCs with no class can roll 46 and drop the lowest result. This sum is not used in the game. Once the character is created, only the modifier. Abilities can never exceed -3 or +6. So we're going to have strength. We're going to have agility. We're going to have presence. We're going to have toughness. And we're going to have spirit. And so I roll 3d6. It said 3d6 straight down. So strength, I got 12. So that's +0. Agility is 13, so that's +1. Presence, 14, so that's +1. Toughness is, not very tough here, 9. Well, okay, that's just +0. Okay. And then spirit, 6, 7. Oh, -1. Okay, so tests are made against a difficulty rating. DR, I think, damage resistance from GURPS, but DR is a difficulty rating. To succeed, roll D20 plus your ability with a result equal to or greater than the DR. So roll a D20 plus your ability. So we're just rolling D20. I think it's pretty standard across all of these. Creatures that don't use abilities just roll a D20 against DR. So 6 is easy even for a landlubber. 8 is routine. 10 is pretty simple. 12 is normal. 14 difficult. 16 really hard. And 18 is nigh impossible. So easy tasks should be able to be accomplished 75% of the time, even if you're rolling a straight D20. So I've got some modifiers that are 0 over here. Well, and one modifier that's -1. But notably, even nigh impossible is only an 18. So it doesn't throw it. I think I've seen that in the other Mork games before as well. So even the nigh impossible, you're supposed to be able to roll and do things, I think, in this game. TSL Frontman, thank you. Hack a bonus to your starting rolls by hitting the like. Holding your breath. You can hold your breath for 1 plus toughness minutes. Minimum of 1 minute. So I'd be able to hold my breath for 1 minute. And half that when under physical duress. Minimum 30 seconds, swimming fast, combat, lifting. After that, test toughness DR12 each round. Increase the DR by 2 each round or lose 1 HP. You drown at 0 HP. You can carry 8 plus strength, which my strength is 0. I can carry 8 normal-sized items without a problem. After that, testing strength and agility DR increases by 2 from 12 to 14, etc. It's impossible to carry more than double 8 plus strength. Normal-sized cargo nets, muskets, and shovels, not cannons, sea chests, oars, or corpses. Oh, so my sea chest is not normal size. I can't carry my sea chest around. Violence, each player rolls to attack and defend. Enemies don't roll dice in combat. Players roll. Yeah, I think that's standard in Mork as well. Initiative, D6, enemies go first. 4 to 6 players go first. Individual initiative, if needed, agility plus D6. Critical on a natural 20. Attack, deal double damage, then armor. Protection is reduced by 1 tier. I wonder if any of these worlds that I'm ostensibly working on should have a Mork Borg incarnation. Or Into the Odd. We talked about which one of these came first, right? So we looked at Into the Odd as well. And Into the Odd, its formatting is much easier and cleaner to read. It's still kind of the same kind of thing, but it doesn't have the artistic layout. But I think that the standard structure of the game and characters was kind of the same. And I forget which one came first. Printed in Lithuania. Have to see. So armor, so critical, deal double damage, then armor protection is reduced by 1 tier. Defense, PCs make an immediate free attack. Because it's only you rolling. Fumble, natural 1. Attack, the weapon breaks or is lost. You can have a lot of weapon breakage there. Defense, PC takes double damage, and then their armor is reduced by 1 tier. Fumble, a black powder weapon, attack, D6, 1 to 2, backfire, take D2 damage, broken, weapon is broken, or 5 to 6, both. That's probably going to happen a lot with black powder weapons too. So that's happening on a fumble. If you attack with a black powdered weapon and roll a 1. Another opportunity to talk about black powdered weapons. We were just talking about that in Lamentations yesterday. Armor. When you take damage, roll your armor die, and subtract that from the total damage. Okay. I can't remember if that's standard or not. So tier 3 armor is negative D6 to damage. Tier 2, D4, D1, D2. Tier 0 is minus 0. When armor is damaged from a fumble. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Your armor, your PC takes double damage, then their armor is reduced by 1 tier. I guess that's permanently. Take double damage. I was thinking reduce the tier, but no, take double damage. And after that, the tier is reduced by 1 of your armor. When armor is damaged from a fumble, penalties to strength and agility tests still persist. Armor reduced below first tier is ruined and cannot be repaired. For armor repair costs, see page 53. That looks like hounds, but it's rounds. Combat rounds are 6 seconds, enough time to make an attack, run across the deck of a ship, use a relic, or complete a ritual. Movement. Most creatures travel 30 feet or 6 5-foot squares in a round to difficult terrain or swimming half speed. Rest. Short rest, about 10 minutes, recover D4 HP. Long rest, overnight, recover D8 HP. No food or drink, restore 0 HP. After 2 days of starving, lose D4 HP per day. Infected, sick, bleeding, and poisoned lose 6 HP every morning instead of recovering. 2d6 reaction. When meeting creatures whose reaction is uncertain, they can be bloodthirsty, angered, or alarmed, indifferent, or neutral, almost friendly, or helpful. We got morale in here. Roll 2d6 for morale. If the leader is killed, half the group is eliminated. A single enemy has only 1/3 of his HP left. If you roll greater than the creature's morale value, it's demoralized. Roll d6 to see if it flees or surrenders. Reference your starting class for hit points. If you're a landlubber and have no class, begin with D10 plus or minus toughness. You never start with less than 1 HP. If you are reduced to 0 HP, you are broken. When you are broken, roll D6. 1 equals instant death. 2 equals hemorrhage, death in D2 hours unless treated. All tests are DR16 the first hour, DR18 the last hour. 3 is brain injury. You awaken 1 hour with a -3 presence for D8 days. 4, roll D6. 1 to 5, broken or severed limb. 6, lost eye. Cannot act for D4 rounds, then becomes active with D4 HP. 5 is fall unconscious for D4 rounds. Awaken with 1 HP and 0 devil's luck. We haven't gotten to the devil's luck yet, have we? Hey, Trey. Yeah, I was just telling them that the reason that I put this on the list, because I was planning on, it just didn't kind of register with me, was because you recommended it so highly. And actually, I've really been enjoying it. I think that I was saying that of all of the different Mork games, this one might be my favorite setting. Very evocative. Negative HP. Well, you can, okay, so on a roll of D6, 1 to 4, broken or severed limb, 6, lost eye, can't act for D4 rounds, then become active with D4 HP. Fall unconscious for D4 rounds, awaken with 1 HP and 0 devil's luck. Fall unconscious for D2 rounds, awaken with D4 HP and D2 devil's luck. Negative HP. If you're reduced to less than 0 HP, you are dead. So, okay, that's if you're reduced to 0, I guess, on the nose. If you're reduced to less than 0 HP, you are dead. Skip being broken. Down to Davy Jones' locker with you. Optional, the GM may allow dead PCs to return to life as haunted souls on page 46. The Game Master decides when a character should be improved. It might be after taking a prize, raiding a port, dividing plunder, burying treasure, exploring a temple. When this happens, do these things. Ability change. Roll D6 against every ability. Results equal to or greater than the ability, increase it by 1 to a maximum of +6. Results below the ability, decrease it by 1. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's pretty standard in the Mork stuff, too. Abilities from -3 to +1 are always increased by 1 unless the D6 result is 1, in which case the ability is then reduced by 1, but never below 3. So that's improvement, but you can hurt yourself. Yeah, I know. So that's what Lynn was just talking about. I'm not sure I like the way they do experience changes when you gain experience, or ability changes when you gain experience. Your scores are going to bobble up and down a lot. So yeah, it does say that you decide when the characters are going to be improved, but that doesn't necessarily mean your ability scores are going to improve. They may stay the same, or they may actually decrease. Results below the ability decrease it by 1. So if you, I mean, so if you've got a 4, right? Am I reading this right? So if you've got a 4 and you got on a roll of a 1, 2, or 3, you're going to go back down to a 3. So yeah, you're going to be bobbing all around. 2, more HP. Increase your maximum HP by D6. You must rest or heal to increase your current HP. Well, now that is different. I had been liking the way that Borg had an interesting way of doing HP increases. That's just increase. Okay, roll a D6. Now, I mean, you might roll a 1. But, well, see, okay, I'm also just not going to be able to find it in this book. unless it's in the back or in the front here. I think we did look at Cyborg. There was something about rolling a group of D6s or something, and if it were higher than some number, then you got some. So it was kind of trying to develop a bell curve for getting HP. This is just an increase. I guess they're expecting it to be much more brutal. Lynn says, yeah, if you've got a 4+, gaining experience is a thing to be dreaded. Ignore your doubts. Do your sheet in pen. Gain a class feature. See your class description to gain a new feature. 4, among the dead you find D6, nothing, a weapon, 3d10 silver, 1 ancient relic, or an arcane ritual. Okay, so I guess these are our classes here. 1 is the Brute, a tough melee combatant prone to fits of rage. When you're not bashing, smashing, slashing, or crashing, well, that's all you really know how to do. You can't use arcane rituals, but your muscles are basically magic. So abilities, +1 strength. Oh, so we do have adjustments here. I forgot about that. +1 strength, +1 toughness, -1 presence, -1 spirit. D12 plus toughness HP. Begins with D2 Devil's Luck. We're starting to figure out what that is. Roll for clothing and a hat. Starting feature. You will begin with a trusted weapon, D6. It will never break, but you drop it on a fumble. It's a DR -2 to attack. What's its name? Okay, it could be a brass anchor, whaling harpoon, meat cleaver, part of a broken mast, runic machete, rotten cargo net. Getting better. Every time you gain experience, roll 1 of the following D6. Re-roll, repeat. So that's your getting better, your experience. Rapscallion. A sneaky, cutthroat scallywag, good at backstabbing, breaking and entering, stealing, cheating, escaping, found in tavern shadows and shallow graves. You will need a deck of playing cards. Okay. So is this... Backstabber, burglar, Skylarker, sneaky bastard, lucky devil, grog brewer. Like subclasses, maybe? Or maybe those are your, that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that's your starting, pick a starting ability or something. Yeah, roll D6 when you begin and you will gain when you gain experience. Buccaneer. Let's see, this was D8 plus toughness hit points. This one is D8 plus toughness hit points. The Buccaneer. Skilled trackers and survivalists. Expert sharpshooters, especially with muskets and rifles. Reloading black powder weapons takes you 1 round instead of 2. You start with a musket and 10 plus presence rounds of shot. When you begin, And when you gain experience, roll d6 for a feature. Each can be taken twice. Reroll if rolled 3 times. Treasure Hunter, Crack Shot, Fixed Bayonets, Focused Aim. So maybe not all of them have the roll for the starting and roll for the improvement. Swashbuckler, a brash fighter with bravado and swagger. So this is, you begin with one of the following d6 fighting styles, and each time you gain. Shakespeare of insults. Your tongue is quick as your blade. Add +1 to all your damage rolls. Military mastermind. Sword master. Intimidating presence. Dazzling acrobatics. Calculating cutthroat. We should do Spire, The City Must Fall, and Heart, The City Beneath someday. Easily the most original and evocative character classes I've ever seen, with some really bonkers, badass abilities. Their melee brawler is described as, you're not a fighter with a drinking problem, you're a drinker with a fighting problem. One class feature is the ability to immediately start a brawl anywhere. It's great. Class Zealot. Zealot, a clergy member, cultist, shaman, or believer. Abilities +2 to spirit, -1 to agility, -1 to toughness, d8 plus toughness HP. Roll, you may use ancient relics. You may use ancient relics and arcane rituals while wearing medium armor, tier 2 or lower. When thou doth begin, and every time thou doth improve, learn a single random prayer. D10 duplicates shalt be re-rolled. Thou may use prayers 2d plus spirit times a day. Re-roll when dawn breaks. It consumes thy action to pray, but doth not require a roll or test. These are things like heal, curse, death ward, control weather, blessed guidance, holy protection, divine light, silence, sanctuary, commune. The sorcerer, an eldritch occultist, frail and enigmatic, and conduits for meddlesome natural spirits and devious necromantic entities. Drawing your power from supernatural spirits and ghosts, you're a weakened body, but strong in the old magic of the world. You can use ancient relics and arcane rituals when wearing medium armor, but never while near cold iron or while holding metal. It's still D8 plus toughness. Deadhead, spiritual possession, protection, clairvoyance, necrosleep, raise the dead. Haunted soul. Oh, so this is the thing that you could come back as when you died. A possessed, infected, cursed, troubled, or undead individual. Roll a d6 to learn your ailment, then roll a d6 to gain an additional class. Ghost, conduit, eldritch mind, zombie, vampirism, skeleton. Skeleton, you are an undead skeleton reanimated by unknowable dark magic, but somehow possessing free will. If you're killed, re-roll the damage die that killed you. On a 3 or less, your bones reform, and you return to life with 1 HP. I do like this one. Thou dost? What did I say? Oh, it does say, it says thou doth here. It's supposed to be thou dost. The Tale. This is a class. Merfolk, one of the children of Poseidon. Your lower half is fish-like and you have gills. Both can be magically hidden as you masquerade as a human. Lower all your DRs by 4 when underwater. If you die, you go to 1 plus toughness days without... If you die, if you go 1 plus toughness days without submerging in fresh seawater. Minimum 1 day. Roll d6 to gain additional class. Aquatic mutant. You are the spawn of an abominable union between man and the sea. Roll d8 to discover what creature makes up half your ancestry. Then roll d6 to gain an additional class. Sentient animal. Starting weapons. Am I supposed to roll for that? Probably. A D10. What would I start off with? 5. I'd get a boarding axe. D6 damage. Pirates and sailors almost never wear armor or use shields. Metal isn't bulletproof. Black powder weapons ignore armor. And getting around a ship while wearing it will get you snagged, thrown overboard, and probably drowned. Hats and clothing do not count towards your carrying capacity. Check your class for your starting clothing die. Landlubbers roll D10. So I could get rags, common clothes, old uniform, fancy clothes, leather armor, hide armor, chain shirt, or conquistador plate. Fancy clothes. You look amazing. Relics and arcane rituals never work when wielding tier 2 or 3 armor or cold iron. Check your class for your starting hat. Landlubbers roll D12. 1 to 4, none. 5, wig. 6, bandana. 7, cavalier. 8, bicorn. 9, plain tricorn. 10, fancy tricorn. 11 is metal-lined hat, -1 damage. And 12 is a morion, which is, yes, the conquistador helmet. Gear, backpack, bandolier, blanket and pillow. Gear list over here. Weapons, melee, goods and services. Ranged ammo, bombs. Okay, so what is the devil's luck? Let's see, let's go over here. This is my only flavor gripe with the game. I think Sorcerer should have been called Bokor, more flavorful and geographically relevant to the Caribbean. I don't know what that is. So Wikipedia says a Bokor male or Caplata female is a voodoo witch for hire who is said to serve the Loa with both hands, practicing for both good and evil. Their practice includes the creation of zombies and uraganas, talismans that house spirits. Oh, well, yeah. That's totally what that should have been. I haven't ever heard of that before. Bokors, featured in many Haitian tales, are associated with the creation of zombies by the use of a deadening brew or potion, usually containing poison. Now, I've heard about the zombie creation before. Extracted from the puffer fish, this potion induces the drinker to appear as though they were dead, thus they are often buried. And so forth. Yes, you're completely right. Doth is third person, Dost is second person. Ah. I'll remember that now. Doth is third person, Dost is second person. Oh, sentient. Oh, did I miss sentient weapons? Sentient weapons are always a lot of fun, even if they're always a pain in the butt. Okay, so the Devil's Luck. Every class gains a number of Devil's Luck points. Landlubbers begin with D2. After resting at least 6 hours, if and only if your luck is depleted, roll your class's designated die and regain that much luck. Use the Devil's Luck to deal max damage with 1 attack. Reroll any die roll. Lower one's test DR by -4. Lower damage dealt to you by D6, or neutralize a crit or a fumble. Optional variant for larger groups, 5 or more PCs. Players may only spend Devil's Luck to help themselves or a player they are sitting next to. So you can max out some damage, re-roll any die, lower a DR of a result of a test by 4. Neutralize a crit or a fumble. Lower damage dealt. I don't remember. Let's take a look at how many of these things you've got. So like the telltale. Does this tell us? Oh, you're supposed to pick another class there. So let's see. So the sorcerer right here begins with D4 Devil's Luck. The Buccaneer. Now, see, if you're looking for this, okay, Devil's Luck is D2. That's a part of the layout. Like if I'm looking for like how many Devil's Luck points. Well, it could be anywhere. There's no standardized place where that's going to be in a layout like this. So the devil's luck. What is that over there? Backgrounds. D100 for a background. 72. Philosopher. My background is philosopher. 2d6 times 10 silver and a book and a puzzling disposition. Distinctive flaw. D20. 18. Pretentious. That works well with a philosopher, I suppose. Physical trademark. 14. Hideously ugly. Okay. Idiosyncrasies. One might have developed and will certainly never be rid of. Yet that certainly won't stop you from trying. Was this D20? 1 20-sided die. 17. You secretly enjoy the taste of human flesh. Oh, well, all right. 1 20-sided die. Unfortunate incidents and conditions having occurred or developed with or without one's express consent, desire, knowledge, or general understanding. 9. Your last crew was killed by undead. They left you alive on purpose. Thing of importance. 32. Tankard made from a horn. Yeah, I did. Explains the parchment, quill, and ink I rolled earlier, too. Maybe I misheard, but stand by as a general statement. Sentient weapons are fun. Trey says, I think they did not want to hard tie you to a specific culture. So you could be someone who does magic given to you by Cthulhu or the Aztecs, Tahitian, but overall, I do agree Bokor does fit. That is also probably a good point, that you could be from these different cultures. Ancient relics. Relics can be used to access ancient magical power. Use your action to activate one in your possession. After using a relic, test Spirit DR12. If you fail, you are stunned for the next round, and that relic cannot be used until next dawn. On a fumble, the relic is permanently destroyed or depleted, and then you lose D2 HP. The GM decides the effect on the critical, if any. Legend's Tale of Ancient Artifacts. Look, the Cthulhu idol right over here. Legend tells of ancient artifacts deep inside tombs or lost at sea. There are some who believe these objects hold the keys to great magical power. So, for instance, on a D20 roll, 17, skeleton key. Open any door or lock. Crumbles after one use. Or number 1, Cross of the Paragon. One ally gets +1 to attack and +1 to damage for D6 turns. 8, Undead Bird. Can speak with animals dead or alive for D6 plus spirit rounds. Arcane Rituals. Some call it magic, others faith. Ancient powers have existed in this world since long before the age of man, but their potency and characteristics differ from culture to culture. Often accessed with voodoo, witchcraft, divine prayers, science, or spiritual ceremonies. While some rituals may be found in the libraries of the old world transcribed into dusty tomes of ancient grimoires, many are handed down via word of mouth and serendipitously discovered by those whose minds are properly prepared to receive them. Every dawn, roll 1d4 plus spirit to see how many times you can cast rituals that day. Is this something everybody can do? You may use your action or longer, see below, and test Spirit DR12 to attempt to cast a ritual you know. If you succeed, subtract 1 from your daily total. If you fail, roll in the Mystical Mishap table, page 66, and you can't use that ritual again until dawn. The GM decides the effect on a critical fumble, if any. Rituals always fail if the caster is carrying anything made of cold iron or touching metal. Okay, optionally, rituals can be easier or harder depending on conditions. Casting under duress, +2 DR or more. Taking 1 minute to cast, -2. Taking 1 hour to cast, -4. Several casters working together, roll twice, keep the higher roll. Spend HP in blood, negative DR per HP. So these are things like, all right, these are numbers over here. 5, Eldritch Tentacles. They appear and attack up to D6 creatures of your choice, taking D6 damage each. Or 7, Facilomancy. Plus D2 plus spirit creatures' lungs fill with seawater. They suffocate for D4 rounds, losing D4 HP each round. 3 is Dark Delusions. An illusion of, or vision of your design appears in the mind of any creatures you can see for D4 plus spirit minutes. Let's see. Mystical mishaps. Oh, here's the mystical mishaps. So if you this is for a 5. You go insane as you become convinced this world is a dream and that you must wake up. Test spirit DR12 every dawn to see if you come to your senses. If you roll the same mishap is rolled twice, the caster's body slowly melts into seawater. Effects in italics are things the caster might not immediately realize. 2, everyone within 20 feet vomits briny water and sea urchins and loses 4 HP. 7, gravity behaves as if everything is 30 feet underwater for D8 minutes. Here's our sea shanties. Sea shanties roll D12. Often learned in seaside taverns and from old sea dogs, most shanties are mindless distractions sung by sailing crews. But some are more than just songs and can unlock the true capability of a crew and the sea. Each day, the crew can sing a number of sea shanties equal to 1 plus the captain's spirit. Choose from your crew's known shanties and test crew skill DR12. If the crew succeeds, the shanty's effect is activated. Subtract 1 use from the daily total. If they fail, the shanty sounds horrible and has no effect. Shanties cannot be utilized for the next hour. The GM decides the effect of a crit or fumble. So we got D12 for shanties over here. So, for instance, number 9 is a drop of Nelson's blood. Increase the ship's speed by 1 for D8 hours. Or 8, Captain Kidd, attacks from the ship are DR -2 for D6 rounds. Or 11, fire down below, extinguish all fires on the ship and repair D6 HP. We got alchemy in here. $16. Oh, well, just talk. Yeah, we're talking. I think you're talking about everyone within you're talking about 4. That was the everybody drowning, right? Yeah, and 16 would be a chunk of hit points. Trey says, I've been working on playing this solo just to test combat, etc. before I run it. I would like it to last a session or 2 without a TBK of the whole group. Yeah, I don't think you can plan on just necessarily plan on having a whole game, a whole campaign. I'm disappointed they didn't have any Poxy Boggards shanties in there. I'm not up on my sea shanties. So alchemical potion generation. Ingredient, resulting color, delivery method, inhalation, touching skin, entering bloodstream, ingestion. Method for alchemical potion and concoction generation. Fast, roll D20 and read straight across. Random, roll 60-20 and let fate decide. Add extra ingredients to taste. Precise, pick and choose like the true alchemist you are. Most potions cost D100 silver pieces of 8 from a reliable source. Good luck finding one. Side quest hook. Finding potion ingredients. DR can be used as toughness DR to resist the potion or the presence DR to craft it. Okay, naval combat. HP represents the ship's condition and crew's health and morale. Hull, like armor, but for vessels. Agility, how nimble or maneuverable this vessel is. Speed, distance the vessel can move each turn. Skill, the crew's skill and training. Broadsides, damage the main cannons deal. Small arms, damage the swivel guns and muskets deal. Ram, damage dealt when involved in the ram action. Crew, minimum max crew. Cargo, the number of slots of cargo the vessel can carry. We do have damage scaling here. Also very common, it appears, with ships. A ship's HP and damage are not the same as a PC's HP and damage. Use a ratio of 1 to 5 if you need to convert. For instance, a ship with 20 HP would have 100 HP if a PC shot it with a musket, and a D8 cannon would deal D8 times 5 to a skeleton. Ships can only fire their broadsword, or standard range of fire is 12 hexes. Ships can only fire their broadsword cannons at a 45-degree angle from their sides. They can always fire small arms, muskets, and swivel guns. So we do have these ships on a hex grid here. Play on a hex grid where 1 inch is about 50 feet. Crew actions include fire broadswords, fire small arms, full sail, come about, drop anchor, weigh anchor. Repair, boarding party, ram, something else. Maritime travel. Skill and morale. Some crews have more or less experience than others, and poor conditions, dire circumstances, and time at sea can affect the crew's mood. Here are some suggestions. Shortage of food, shortage of water, rum is gone. Ship is damaged to different degrees. Haven't divided the plunder. Underman, inexperienced crew. Shipwright repairs and upgrades, like extra cannons, upgrade cannons. Optional wind rules. We've been looking at a bunch of wind rules, like the changing winds. Storms, again, this is using a D12, 2D6 here. That seems pretty common to have like 2 be beached and 12 be a storm. I think we've seen that. We saw that in Lamentations, and we saw that in also of Ships in the Sea. PH says, and I managed to come back just like a stubborn undead pirate. If you need to convert, like if a PC becomes a ship, I don't think that's exactly it. Stray says, I think I would play boat battles with close, near, and far measurements. Like I'm some of the, I'm kind of surprised that it has you on the hex grid. I don't recall that from the other Mork games. I could be wrong. It seems like I don't actually recall those games saying things like near, medium, or near, close, or far, or something like that. So maybe they were expecting you to also play on a grid. I can't remember, though. Firelock Games make some of the best miniature ships in the industry. I bet they would be great for this. 28 millimeter, I believe. I've looked at Firelock Games miniatures before. We've got different kinds of ships. Raft, longboat, dinghy, canoe, tartane, perigua, sloop, brigantine, flute, galleon, frigate, galley, man of war, ship of the line, forts, seaside fortifications designed to protect forts and towns, ghost ship. The reanimated shipwrecks are pirated by ghosts and skeletons. They typically appear only at night. Use the base stat for another vessel. Undead. You can only be crewed by the dead and will sink when the captain is destroyed. Winds of hell. Not affected by wind conditions. Can always move at full speed. Terrifying. At the start of combat, ships and PCs cannot take crew actions until passing a morale test. A ship of bone. True horrors to behold. These skeletal constructs are held together with flesh. They leave a sea of blood in their wake. Use the base stats for another vessel. Undead Fortitude. If reduced to 0 HP or less, test DR12 to drop 1 HP instead. Marrow cannons. See page 108. Terrifying. At the start of combat, ships and PCs cannot take crew actions until passing a morale test. Vessel from the deep. More monster than ship. Recompiled shipwrecks, coral constructs, and possessed vessels lost at sea. Use the base stats or another vessel. Down to the locker. Can submerge surface instead of attacking. Speed 3 inches, I guess that's supposed to be, when underwater. So it can be like a submarine. Wow. Melee attacks, claws, and tentacles. I do like this. I like this. Dark terrestrial. Oh, so this is like our bestiary. 3-headed monkey, dire crocodile, carrion gull, hammer drones, eldritch eel, carnivorous plant. Make your own enemies. Use these tables as a crash course in designing enemies or just roll some dice. Remember, most of the horror comes from your description. Skeletons include, skeleton stats, lookouts, the bosun. Warlock, Captain, Hulk, Deadeye, different kinds of zombies. Ghost Monkey, Ghost Crew, Ghost Quartermaster, Ghost Captain. Scavenging Seagull, Obscure Oyster Cult. Deep Ones, the Drowned, Gorilla Crab, Sea Wraith, Sirens, Black Coral Crabs. Oh, there's a lot in here. The Kraken. 200 hit points. It's like a bone golem, but more buoyant. Yeah. Trey says, yeah, I agree. The theater of the mind. I'm not sure I'd want to stop the game to do setup every time. Yeah, every time I want to run a combat. Sorry, I got distracted. Coffee finished brewing. I thought about that. Obscure blue oyster cult that must all dress in blue. Yeah, we all thought of that. 3-headed monkey, father of Demigorgon. The Leviathan, Davy Jones. Marrow cannons. Marrow cannons are sentient undead weapons. Skilled necrosmiths plunder graveyards and battlefields to build these contraptions from human livestock and fish remains. The mightiest cannons feature smooth-bored whale barrels and carry the names of the cities they first reduced to rubble. Marrow cannonade. Marrow mortar. Bane of Barbados with explosive shot. Archetypical captain, naval mastermind. Years at naval academies and decades at sea have sculpted tactical geniuses out of the military commanders. They specialize in hunting pirates, treasure fleets, and enemies of the crown. The Inquisitor, religious, tyrannical, patriarchal. They command an elite force of armed conquistadors and devoted priests. They hunt down any and all they believe to be heretics. The Necromancer, less human than human. They were captains once, now consumed by dark sorcery. They're compelled to drain the life from the living. The Sunken One, wretched cult leaders that have made pacts with the old ones. Shipwrecked captains that prayed to the abyss for salvation. Abominable constructs anchored to the sea. Sails, ships at sea, and their cargo. Vessel class, so it's like generating a random ship and their cargo. What are they carrying? Munitions, tobacco, wine, antiques. Optional plot twist. Where is it? Type of ship. What happened here? Won the room. So exploring like a ship you come across. Oh, treasure maps, of course. Pick and choose from the tables as needed, then grab some parchment paper and quill and get to work. So type of map, material, geography. It starts in a totally unknown location within a mile, a day's walk, a well-known place. The invisible ink is revealed with heat or fire if soaked in alcohol, with magic or ritual. at a certain time of day and some type of complication to get the treasure. Treasure icons. Markers, directions, riddles. Roll D12. Oh, here's my D12. 12. Direction of the icon. You will find so add a direction. So D8. So east of the cliffside, you will find a sight rarely seen. Find the stone statue that's hidden under a blanket of green. Meaning the marker is hidden under foliage, moss, or grass growing in an odd place. Uncharted islands. Size, terrain, vegetation, prominent natural feature, notable animal inhabitants, best place to hide treasure on the island. Anything here worth a fortune? Current conflicts, natural hazards. In the darkness, what happens? Stopping a pirate can be dangerous to your health. Roll 3d12. Read these tables from A to C. Save the dice. Stopping, save my rolls. So, okay. So 9, a rum drinking goon with another 9, a weather-worn doublet, wielding a bullwhip. Look at the dice you rolled. The greatest result is its morale, 9. The lowest result plus 2 is its HP, so 6. Whichever table has the highest result determines its armor. So D2 armor. He's wearing D2 armor. Roll D66 times 4 to name this lowlife. They carry the highest result in silver. So D66. 56. Silas Black. Nicknamed Dark. Oh, no. No. Roll times 2. Dark. His nickname's Dark Turtle. East of the Cliffside. Sounds like a band name. This is becoming like Warhammer in the Bahamas. So it's like a chaos army. A Coral Shoggoth. Yes. Jobs and quests. Rumors. Let's go ahead and just go scroll through here. The Curse of Skeleton Point. Oh, so is that? Oh, wait. This might be a quest. We might have already gone through it. So, yes, using this module. The Curse at Skeleton Point is not a typical introductory adventure. It's a location guide, an NPC dossier, a sandbox, a dungeon crawl, and much more. It's a loaded cannon, and your players are the Linstock. New GMs might feel a little lost as there is a lot to do on an island, and every group will certainly handle it differently. Don't worry. Use the module as needed. Or throw it to David Jones' locker when your pirates inevitably set the entire island on fire. Here are some ways to get started. So we've got a module here in the back. That's cool. Maybe all the more come with modules in the back. Black Coral Reef. Okay, and I suppose here are the back parts. This is the random skeleton. Oh, that's Skeleton Point. Still Skeleton Point. Random encounters. This is like the character creation. I think the character creation sheet. I saw this was available as a separate PDF in the download. So I guess if you're looking for a way to go through this, that's not all of the type of layout that it is. It looks like this would help you with that. Yeah, so this would go through gear, total abilities. Here's your classes. So that's nice. Maybe I haven't seen this before in a Mork one. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe that's what people were starting to say. Like, hey, Okay, I need some easier way to go through character creation than going through all the art or the layout and things like this. So this is a more straightforward way to go through it. That's handy. Creature index, general index, rules. And that's it. Well, hey, thank you, Trey, for recommending this one. I was really glad that I looked at this one after all. I almost skipped it, so I'm glad I didn't. In fact, I think of all the Borg that I would be interested in playing, I think it would be this one. Seems pretty neat. The player sheet is awesome. Set the island on fire. To be fair, you split the party. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to verify with Doug that we are having a table talk tonight, which means I also need to watch Star Trek 4 again, but I've got potentially 2 meetings today as well. So I'm going to be busy here, and I've got to do some writing as well. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. Check the Discord server. If you are not on the Discord server, I will post. Well, Stray will probably have that. But if you if you check the Discord server, I'll post about 15 minutes before we go live tonight. But it should be 7:00 p.m. Central if we're going live. But I'll also post it on YouTube. But I will see everybody later and hopefully tonight. Be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later.